Last time we removed the knuckle and we realized that these control arm bushings and ball joint are completely trashed, so we just decided to get a couple new upper control arms from Rock Auto so that we could get his car back on the ground and off of the jack stands, so I can put my wife's car back in the garage where it belongs. So there's not really much packaging material in here. It does come with a cotter pin. Well, really I want to do the left side because there's more stuff to remove. You got to remove the fuse box and some other stuff so you can get access to the bolt up there. Right control arm is 446. They should not be very tight, or at least these aren't. So up here, you remove this bolt. That's a 10mm washer. And then I removed this, but you actually don't need to do that. What you need to do is push back on these tabs and lift up, and it detaches from this bracket. Do it on this side as well. And you'll basically be able to pull this up. This bolt is off, and now I need to get this one out from underneath the ABS motor relay. Pretty much I need to do this bolt and this bolt, and it should just come off. These two 10mm are back in, and these two 10mm are back in, and it's clipped on all 4 spots. I will say don't clip this hose back into this bracket until you've already got this bolt in, or you're just going to have way too hard of a time tightening that back down. And it is now raining. The ram mount on my bike was actually my tripod just now, so that's kind of funny. I'm done with the fuse box, so I want to put the battery leads back on, but I think we kind of need new battery terminals. Here it is. Here's the new control arm. Hopefully we'll be ever closer to actually getting some seat time. It is beautiful out right now, in spite of the rain. And my bike looks amazing. Look at that. It's time to install the upper control arm over here on the driver's side. This car has ABS, so there's all this stuff here, but that's fine. You can still get to these 2 upper control arm bolts without much of an issue. So that's what I'm going to do now. These were 17s. There you go. There's the old control arm. And here is the boot. I don't think that's a 17 anymore. This might be a 19. The last thing we need to do before we start reassembling the car is to get these goddamn hubs out of these knuckles. So I brought the knuckles to a shop. It was $75 for this random shop to press these out. You could probably call around and find a cheaper price, but like I said, I have no time. Now it's apart and I can swap the rotors and start putting the car back together. Let's see, where's the brake clean? Is it? Where is it? Where did it go? Where the f did it go? Nothing drives me crazy, man. Oh, it's right here. This is just a different can. Has order. Got a hub here. We're going to get the bolts off the old rotor and stick them on the new one. And then you want to do these in a crisscross pattern. Oh, there's crap all over this. I'm gonna have to re-clean this. Probably on both sides too. I guess it's time to put the knuckle back in already. So here we've got this castle nut on the ball joint. We're gonna take that off. Here's all the bolts. This is not a machined surface, and these are held in by bolts. This is not a press fit. There's no issue with sanding this down to get this to fit. The issue right now is that it's covered in rust. There's a cotter pin stuck in this little hole right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and try and drill this out without breaking my drill bit. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna break and make my life worse, but... And now it's out. Perfect. I don't normally do that type of thing, but now I guess I do. And now, for my final trick, I will really freaking try to get this thing on there correctly. Alright, that bolts, 2 of the bolts are now in. It just won't go on smoothly. Once we're snug, I'll do like 3 pulls on each side. So 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. These are only 20 foot-pounds. Don't quote me on that, but they don't have to be super tight. Alright, that's it. The lower ball joint is sort of in. I need to get the axle through. Splice. There we go. So we've got the new upper control arm in, the knuckle is in, and the brake disc with the captive design is on. The tie rod is back on with no cotter pin. There's no cotter pin up here yet either. The lower ball joint is on as well. So all 3 connections are missing cotter pins. Take our brake pad care, get your pad spreader, stick that in there, use the old pad to push with the pad spreader to close this piston up. Now we should be able to fit the new pads in there very easily and fit the bracket back on to the knuckle very easily as well. And the wear indicator goes this way. There we go. Beautiful. Brake caliper's back on. This side of the car is almost complete. Then we have this hose here. I forgot about this sensor. These with the washers were the brake line hose. These other bolts also have washers for the ABS. Okay, I'm going to turn the wheel again. 2 12 mils. An extension makes this a lot easier. Alright. Alright, so now the only thing left to do is jack this up and torque everything down and install the cotter pin. Okay, now install that on the other side. This knuckle is ready to go in the car. Now I need to get the lower ball joint down into the lower control arm while getting the axle up into the knuckle. So let's see if we can do all that real quick. Oh. Alright, yesterday I tried to attach this knuckle to the car as quickly as possible so I can get to eating Popeyes. But actually in my rush I forgot to make sure that the cotter pins were out of all of the studs. And there were some broken cotter pins stuck in the studs, so the lower ball joint one has to come off. And the damn tie rod one won't come off. And I can't remember if I have one in that one or not, so I'll just zip it off real quick. Alright, lift it up on the tie rod and that made it come off. Okay, now let's see.
You both sneeze at the same time?
Yeah, that's so cute. Got this caliper here. Remove this old one, the spreader. Both sides. And now we're going to go ahead and mount this brake caliper back up. Go. The brakes are on. Tie rod needs a cotter pin. The lower ball joint still needs to be tightened down. Not sure how you're supposed to really do that. I feel like that's not supposed to happen. There might be loud sound. Okay. I'm not a doctor, actually. Time to get back here and put this Hall effect sensor back where it belongs. It goes over here. I think it goes over here. Alright, now we just want to get this stupid thing back on. Oh, fuck. That's so stupid. The brake caliper's on upside down. But Eric, clearly it's correct. There's no way it could be upside down. How are you going to rotate it? Well, it's 360 degrees upside down. Because this brake hose has an extra turn in it. So this brake caliper has to come off. This is so stupid. Double barrel roll. Alright, now the brake is on the right way. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's everything. Literally the only thing stopping me from putting this car back on the ground is 4 cotter pins. So I grabbed some cotter pins and installed them in the 4 locations. Well, actually I installed them in 3 of the 4 locations. On this side, I was only successful once. You see, this here is, that's not a cotter pin, that's a drill bit. Which is a little unfortunate because now I can't fit a cotter pin in there. I was thinking at first, you know, like, oh, a cotter pin, drill bit, same, but basically you can't really bend a drill bit, but a cotter pin bends, so this is more likely to just break and allow the nut to just come off, so this is really not going to work. So I do need to get this out somehow. I've got the front jacked up, and I just torqued these, and I'm about to do the other side, and then I'm going to put the wheels back on. Filming is too slow, so I'm not filming very often, but trust me. Here, I even got a correct size cotter pin for this one, if you notice that I used a big one. She doesn't like that, huh? Oh, don't worry, it's going to be your favorite sound here soon enough. Okay, I know this is a huge car YouTube sin, but my phone died and I was busy, so I simply finished without recording. The car is complete now, kind of. I put the car down on the ground and I drove it like down the street and back, and basically right at the top of my driveway I heard a scraping sound coming from this area. And it turned out that one of the little springs that goes in the caliper bent funny, like a tiny tab on it bent funny, and it basically made the clearance not enough, and the brake pad couldn't move on the inside of the brake caliper. So it's making a scraping sound for some reason, I don't know why. But I fixed that, and then it drove amazingly, and Ernie will be here to check out the car on Sunday this week, which is like 6 days from now. So overall, the car is great. It still needs a bath. As you can see, it's still dirty. There are still things from the previous owner inside. It's still missing this piece of trim for the windshield, and it needs new wiper blades. And we should really remove the wiper arms and respray them black. I think that would hugely improve the, you know, the car look, the way the car looks from 10 feet. Because even right here, you can still see on video like how hideous that is. There's not much left to do with this little car. I think it's pretty much as is going to be good enough to just be a car. The upper control arms and the sway bar end links seem to really transform the handling of this car. It's like much less body roll than before. So if you're on a budget, I highly recommend those mods. In our next video, we will prepare the car to be inspected, and then we'll see if my friend can finally get the seat time that he wanted. Don't miss the completion of the first stage of this build series.